Here's to you guys. Have a drink. In this video, I want to talk about ownership. Ownership in many forms. Ownership emotionally, ownership financially, ownership psychologically. But first, here's to you guys. Whoa, I made that one a little strong. Whoa! So he takes another hit. Hang on. Anyway, set this down. I'm watching a guy on YouTube. I like him a lot. It's called The Dre Way. Check him out. I like him a lot. He speaks his mind. He speaks a lot. He speaks on everything. He speaks about politics, stuff like that. But actually, he kind of tapped into what I'm going to talk about. And I'm not talking about because he did. But I'm just going to say what he mentioned. He was talking about real estate and why real estate is going to crash. While those big houses, these 3,000, 4,000 square feet, 6,000, bajillion thousand square feet houses are going to go down in price, probably 50%, because a lot of the younger people don't want to buy into the old-fashioned thing of ownership. They don't want to own a big house. They don't want all that, okay? So I'm going to take that a next step. I'm going to take that another step further into my philosophy about ownership. In the common point philosophy, you don't own anything. What, John? When you're brought into this world, you don't own a thing. It is our society that tells you need to have a house, you need to have a wife, you need to have a husband, you need to own a car, you need to own a job, your emotions need to be controlled. Everything's about ownership. The other thing that's dying out, that is slowly dying on the vine. Oh my God, it's taking 1,000 years more. Religion is dying out. People are walking away from organized religion, like Christianity and any other all the religions. Too many to mention. Why? Back to what I was saying earlier. Ownership. Religion is about ownership over your feelings, ownership over your thoughts, ownership over your life. Some religions are seriously like you ha! I can't even see you. Some religions are just totally control you on everything you do, what you eat, what you say, how many kids you have, what you can do as a woman, what you can do as a man. A lot of them are starting to wane, especially in the Western world, especially in the United States. We are starting to see a decline in religion, especially Christianity. Yay! Get rid of it. Okay? Goodbye. Because it's ownership over you. It's ownership over your feelings. We are heading into, I believe, a new. I remember back in the 60s, talking about the age of Aquarius. We're kind of going to a new age where people want to use their own minds. They want to use their own critical thinking. They don't want to be manipulated. Say, you have to think this way. You have to act this way. You have to eat this way. You have to live this way. It's finally going away. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote my book, the Book of Common Point, because it's basically about that. It's about stepping into this new environment where there's no ownership. You don't need to own anything. Well, John, I gotta own pants and clothes, and I gotta own a car, and I understand. We're still in that. We're still in that world, okay? But I think we will eventually, over the next, 20, 30, 75, 100 years, if we last that long on this planet, where our mind is going to think, and our mindset's going to be, we don't need to own anything. because it just causes war and hatred and damage and ugliness amongst people and greed and envy. Well, he's got a brand new lawnmower, and he's got a 10,000, 50,000 foot house over there, and it's amazing. Well, why do I have that? It's ownership. You don't need it. So I want to talk about how do you live without being controlled by ownership? How do you live by not letting ownership control you religiously, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually? How do you do that? It starts from, like I said in all my videos, it starts from within, right? Look within. What's important to you? Is owning a big house, is that important to you? And think about why you need to own a huge house. Why do you need to own a huge house? Like putting pins on a board. Think about that. Why do I need to own this house? What's the purpose? Well, I want to have a big family, and that's ownership as well. So let's stop here for a second, because I just blurbed all this stuff out to get it out of me to get to the subject. I want to talk about imagine. John Lennon's song, Imagine. 3 minutes, 4 minutes tops is the length of that song. But basically the title, I want you to imagine a world without religion. I want you to imagine a world without greed. I want you to imagine, he wanted us to imagine a world without that. Because with that, we have war, we have hatred, we have bigotry, we have prejudice, we have anger, we have angst, we have jealousy. It all revolves around ownership. Okay? So watching the news this morning, and they're talking about Air Force One and how they got to retrofit it and how it's got to make sure that it can fly. It can fly for days in subspace if we have a nuclear war. That's the thinking of these idiots. We need to retrofit the new Air Force One, so the President of the United States and all his cabinet, whoever's going to be with him, can fly around the earth while there's a nuclear war. Think about how freaking stupid that is. Because that's about ownership. That's about thinking, well, once everything's blown up and everything's destroyed, we'll come back and we'll rebuild. No, there won't be anything here. There won't be anything here. There won't be anything left. It will be a dead planet. And think about them circling around a dead planet for however long the fuel will last in that plane. Think about that. And eventually, I sometimes think human beings are insane. I sometimes think we actually are insane. And we're trying to live in a normal world, or make a normal world. It's my bunny scratching. But I want to stay focused on ownership. Because that desire, that emotional desire, that deep emotional desire to own something controls you. The credit card companies figured this out. They thought, we'll give you the bait. We'll approve you for $1,000 or $2,500 today, and then you're going to use it. You're going to run it up. I've only got $100 left in my credit card. What are they doing? They own you. Now they own you. You are paying for your own money. You're paying to use your own money. As you make a payment, you make a $100 payment, they charge you 45, 38, 40, what the hell it is, 40% interest. You are paying them to use your own money. Ownership is running this world. Ownership is destroying this world. Ownership is destroying you. How do you live a better life? How do you get out of that? How do you get out of that mess? Because our whole society is about ownership. Ownership with your religion, ownership with your money, ownership with your credit cards, ownership with your spouse, with everything that you touch, every physical thing that exists in your life that you own and that you want to own. Cost you. Either cost you emotionally, cost you money, cost you psychologically. The stress. I need a drink. Ah! Hold that thought. Don't go anywhere. The stress. The stress that ownership costs you. And I literally can see it in my own life. I can see it in my own life when the bills come in and I go, oh, I've got $4,000 here to pay these bills. And I pay the bills and I chop away and chop away and chop away. And I'm down to, I got $80 left in my bank account. And then I got none. And then, I missed a bill. I go, I missed a bill. I don't have the $124 to pay it. So I'm going to get a late fee, another $40. Stress, stress, stress. Why do we live like that? One of these days I'm going to throw this shirt away. I do have other black shirts. I just got to look for them that fit me better. We live like that because we're told to. We live like that because we are manipulated into that. With our religion, with things we buy, with our houses, with getting married, with all the stuff. John, you keep slamming on marriage. Why do you slam on marriage? I don't believe in marriage. I believe in having a companion. I live with a companion. We've been together for almost 30 years. There's a lot of things we don't do, but we are very good friends. She's my companion. Nobody owns you. You don't own anybody. Marriage is ownership of another person. Excuse me. That is also declining. Marriage is declining. Ownership is declining. We're going in the right direction. How do you have a family, John, if you're not married? You can have a family. Why can't you have a family? Where is it written that I can't have a son or a daughter or a family by not being married? It's about love and about understanding. It's not about a legal paper. I'm rambling, but that's fine. Back to ownership. I talk in my videos a lot about having a retreat, not a cult. Christianity is a cult. All the religions are cults. They started as a cult. They grew into bigger cults. Christianity is a cult. Any religion you can name, I can't think of any right now, but there's a million religions. They are all cults. A cult is something that tells you how you're going to live, why you're going to live, what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And you do it and you obey. And you do your tenets and you do your prayers and all that kind of stuff. That's a cult. You're in a cult. Okay? Common Point is not a cult. Common Point is an open-minded philosophy about being connected to the earth, about being connected to Source. What is Source? Source is the energy that creates everything in the universe. In religion, they call it God. But they also tack the ownership onto it. Oh, by the way, most of the big chiefs, most of the big guys in the Christian religion are men. God's a man? Really? How do you know? Nobody knows. God might be a big giant bunny. I don't know. If God exists, I don't know. You can't prove it. It can't be provable. So I decided to, in my book, create my own philosophy. And it's about being connected to Source, being connected just to life itself. And how I can prove to you that that energy or that source or that essence exists is just take your ass out, go in the park and sit on a bench or sit on the grass and just be. Just be. And you will feel it. You will feel that life essence, or you will see and feel all that life around you. Oh, God created that. You can't prove that. That's a cult. But you can prove that it does exist. You can't prove how it was created, but you can prove that it exists. And if you can, with your own eyes and your own emotion, your own brain, and critical thinking, you can say, wow, look at the grass grow. Look at the colors. I saw a beautiful rainbow, a double rainbow the other day. Look at this miracle of this earth is unbelievable. We don't own it. We don't own it. We're part of it. It doesn't own us. We don't own it. We don't own the land. We don't own our houses. We don't own the sky. We don't own the air. We don't own the seas. We don't own shit. But we think we do. That's why we have so much stress. Because that's how we live. That's where we've been conditioned to live. I'll be right back. I'm back. Hang on, I had to make another drink. Don't look at the label. Oh my God. On my phone, I gotta dump what's on the phone on the computer, come back and continue because it's an old phone and it just crashes about 2 minutes. Anyway, we shall continue. Ownership. Here's something you can do in your life that will make you feel, in the beginning, it's hard. In the beginning, it's hard. But as you move forward, as time goes by, and you look back, you're going to feel better about yourself. If you can unload some luggage from your life that you think you own, unload some luggage from your life that you think you own, that you think you have ownership over. I'm not talking about years of family heirlooms or stuff that you just can't get rid of, like a ring, you know, like stuff like that. But there's things in your life that you can get rid of. Can you get rid of them emotionally? That takes time. Getting rid of an emotion takes time. And I'm not really qualified to go down that road because I'm not a psychologist. I'm not trying to get into your mind. I just want to stay in the subject of ownership. And so sometimes when you break away from a conditioned life, That can also be ownership. So what I used to do and what I recommend you to do is this. Like I said, I'm not any professional to give you a professional advice. I'm just telling you what I do. Time owns us as well. Time owns us as well, because we only get so much of it. We get so many minutes, we get so many years, we get so many days, so many hours in a day. And we get in that trap of like, I got to get this done at a certain time. I don't have enough time today to get this done. And oh, the kids and all this and the husband and the wife and the work and the then, all that. Cut out a moment. Just take 5 minutes. 5 minutes of that time that's being controlled, that ownership over you, of all the things you got to do. Take 5 minutes. Go to the park and be connected to nature. Go in your backyard. Do anything that you can do that will connect you to the earth. Anything that you can think of that will connect you to the earth. Go in your backyard. Sit in a hammock. Feel the breeze. Feel the sun on your face. Hear the birds. Connect to source. Take a walk on the beach. As I talked about earlier in my video, the Dre Way show. He mentioned 2 shows ago about how beautiful the day was. He does his shows, I believe, on his balcony, and you can see in the reflection of the glass behind him, his glass sliding doors or windows on his balcony, you can see the palm trees. You see this beautiful view and beautiful sky. He's got to figure it out. He's incorporating that in with his videos. It gives you a nice peaceful feeling that he's very relaxed, he's very laid back. So do something in nature. Go to a lake, float in water. Just go to a lake and float in water. Go to a stream and just put your feet in the stream and feel the cold water. Feel that amazing feeling of water just running past your feet. Ice cold water past your feet on the rocks, if you have that near where you live. 5 minutes. Damn shirt. That is a start. That is a start for you to break away from ownership. That's a baby step. That's a small step. But it's a beginning. It's a beginning. Start with 1 person, 2 people, 4 people, 10 people, 20 people. And finally, you're kicking all this stuff to the curb and just being one with the world, just being with source, not being controlled, not letting your mind, not letting your brain just go bananas, trying to live in this insane world that we've created. Do that for me. Find that spot. You can take a friend, take your dog. There's another video. I'm not into plugging a lot of people. There's another video channel I watch called Silver and Solo. I can't remember her name, but that's her YouTube channel. She does her dog walks. You can see her walking her dog, and you see the trees. And she lives in Canada. But her and the other guy I talked about have figured out a way to incorporate that little piece of peacefulness in their work and what they do. I want to do the same thing. I do want to do the same thing, but I don't have the proper equipment for it, and I live in a very noisy environment. I live next to Orlando Airport. I hear airplanes going by all the time, freeways, garbage trucks, as you know. So I'm kind of stuck. Not for me, but for the way I do my videos, where there's not so much noise in the background, it's just chatter. Because I've tried it and it just doesn't work. But eventually, I will buy some land and we will build utopia and we will have a retreat where we can come in and we can be with nature and we can let go of the material world while we're there and just be. Eventually, I will do that. I love you guys. I'm going to go. I don't want this video to get too long. I might do a little bit of editing. We'll see. Ownership. Work on dealing with that. Whatever way you can. Like I said, go and spend 5 minutes. Or ownership of your spouse. How do you feel about your spouse, about your friends, about your close friends, about your lover, about your girlfriend, about your boyfriend, about your wife, about your kids? Do you feel like you have to control them? I'm not saying you don't have to teach them or share knowledge with them or learn together with them. That's a different thing. But do you feel like you have to control them? I got to control my kids. No, you don't. You got to teach your kids. You got to give them lessons to learn from. You got to give them lessons to learn from to gain that wisdom. You don't control kids. You don't control your wife. You don't control your husband. It's not about control. It's not about ownership. It's about sharing what you know with who you love. That's what it's about. I keep looking down at my notes. I said I was going to say goodbye, and I don't feel like saying goodbye. One more drink. This is to my compadres out there in other video land and YouTube land. And to you guys. I was going to talk about what the common point philosophy was about, but I got a lot of videos on there. It's about not owning anything. It's about collectively living together harmoniously. That's why I want to build my retreat. It's not a cult. It's a retreat. A place you can come to and decompress. A place you can come to and understand the meaning of life itself. What's the meaning of life, John? I'm going to tell you the meaning of life. Right. You know the meaning of life. I do. I figured it out. It took me about 30 seconds. I read it in my book. I talk about the meaning of life in my book. Meaning of our lives. Of your life. But first, I'm Hendrik, and I will tell you the meaning of life in one word. Hang on, don't go anywhere. It's a biggie. In one word, the meaning of life. And I want you to think about it. Coupled with ownership. Okay? Ready? Got you on the edge. No matter what guru you listen to, no matter what motivational speaker you listen to, no matter what God or what religion you follow, here is the answer to the meaning of life. Be. Just be. I saw it in the beginning of the video, John Lennon's song, Imagine. Break it down to its simplest common denominator. Just be. That's it. It's not rocket science. We make it complicated. I got to be this, and I got to do that, and I got to do that. Just be. That's it. Gotta go. Bye, guys.